Welcome back to Alexander Cattlemen Farms. Today we're going to talk about delivering the ration or the feed to the bunk. The thing that you have to remember first off is that cattle come into the feedlot at different ages. When they first come in, they're a smaller animal, and we need to what we call start them up on a lower ration. In that case, it's got more hay in it, more roughage, and less energy, so they kind of get acclimated to the ration. As they're here after about 30 days and we get them up to the final ration, which is a high energy ration that really is to be efficient, to put a lot of weight on in short order of time. We utilize all the ingredients that we talked about last time. As I said, to start with a higher roughage ingredient part of the ration, and then you work them into lower the roughage to get more into the corn in the final days. We always, whenever the cattle come in, we assign them a lot number, which stays with the cattle for the entire time, and then that they go into a different pen. As you can see, we've got the pen numbers here. This is how the feed truck driver knows which cattle are where they're at and what ration they need to get. These are kept, of course, on constant records, so they keep track daily on what is fed. We actually deliver the feed to the bunk. This really is twofold. It's to make sure the feed stays neat and not distributed all over the place. It gives it a more concentrated effort so the cattle can come up there and get the feed when they're ready to eat. We feed twice a day. We feed first thing in the morning, usually about 7 o'clock in the morning when we'll start feeding. And we feed the second feeding will start about 3 or 4 in the afternoon. This goes on day in and day out, no matter what it is. So we feed 365 days a year. So it takes a pretty good commitment to make sure the cattle are fed and watched properly. You can also see in the background they have free access to water all the time. So they're kept as comfortable as we can keep them with feed in the bunk and water in the tank every day of the year, all throughout the season. When it comes time to feed the cattle, our people have to what we call read the bunk. They will come along right before they feed and determine how much feed is needed. What you do is look in the existing bunk to see how cleaned up it is. We like to see just a little bit of feed left because that means we're feeding them just the right amount. If they are slicked up, their bunk is totally clean, as we call it, then we want to increase the amount that we're going to feed them. If there's too much feed left, we'll back it off a little bit, because what we do is want to find the exact right mix on how much feed per animal we're going to give to maintain the efficiencies that we're looking for in putting the pounds on the cattle. Traditionally, what they'll eat is per day basis about 35 to 40 pounds per head, which sounds like a lot, but they're also gaining about 3.5 pounds a day at the same time they're doing that.